Guys, I really hope you're ready for a crazy weekly spread. This is Jo from Daisy, and if you're new to the channel, you won't know that I have gone Barbie themed this month. And for my weekly spread this week, I am going to create something dedicated to WEIRD Barbie, potentially my favourite of all the Barbies. Now, I have penciled in what I want this page to look like, and I'm just cutting out some shapes right at the get-go here to create a Dutch door style layout. It's going to be a bit of a different Dutch door because I want the pages to be visible from behind each other and kind of poke out. What I'm going for with the weekly setup is something reminiscent of WEIRD Barbie's house in the new Barbie movie. So once I've cut that shape away, what I'm actually going to do is flip it upside down and do the opposite shape on the second page. So each of the cut out pieces is asymmetric, sloping one way and then the other. That way you're going to be able to see little pieces from behind both once I've cut those out and lay them over each other. Hopefully that will become more clear as I start to decorate the pages, because it's quite difficult to see when you're just looking at a cut page. What I've got is these little boxes overlying an asymmetric shape that is the page. I've been so inspired by this Barbie movie, and this spread in particular was one of the most fun journal spreads that I've set up in a really long time. I did it at the weekend. I didn't kind of set myself the challenge of talking while I was setting it up. I just really got in the zone and enjoyed some quality journaling time. And you'll see as the spread goes on, I kind of just get a little bit more excited and carried away at throwing loads of colour at the page and making something that is just really joyful. It's not the most professional looking spread, but I really enjoyed it. So what I'm doing now is just erasing all of my pencil lines with my little push out eraser so that I can figure out what I need to do in terms of decoration. All of the bits that I've used to decorate this spread, I'm going to list in the description below the video. I actually really wanted to use my skinny washi tapes, but I couldn't find the pink skinny washi tape, really annoyingly. I think my cat has potentially stolen it and hidden it underneath a sofa or something. So what I've had to do for the pink stripes is actually cut them out of our pattern paper printable. I wouldn't recommend this. It took quite a long time and it isn't the most efficient way to add pink stripes to your page, but it did the job. So I'm going to use a couple of different printed pattern papers on here, and they're actually patterns that Kate, aka Snail Scribbles, made for us to add as a little giveaway on the channel. I will put the link that you need to complete in order to get your free pattern printables in the description below the video. They are just for our YouTube viewers, and all you need to do is sign up for our newsletter and you'll get sent the pattern paper printable downloads, and you can download them as many times as you wish. So all I'm going to do now is stick these pink strips on the edge of the cutout area. I'm going straight up the diagonal. I'm not doing the little boxes. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So if I had been using my pink skinny washi tape, this would have been a whole lot easier, and I could have done it without glue, but you know, Elvis the cat is very naughty and he likes to stash my washi tapes in places that I can never find. So I've used my glue dot roller just to adhere the washi tape onto the page, or the fake washi tape that I've made onto the page. And I will just have to add a little piece at the end, just because it wasn't quite long enough to go the whole diagonal. So what I actually wanted to achieve with this Dutch door was something reminiscent of WEIRD Barbie's house. Her house is actually composed of different cubes that kind of sit and overlap each other in really bright, fun colours. So if you imagine the main page as the main big pink cube on her house, then the little boxes that I'm creating now with the contrasting skinny washi tape are the little boxes that kind of sit in the house, and that's where I'm going to put in the information of what the date is, and there will also be the tabs for my Dutch door. You guys, I really wasn't lying when I said that this spread was a bit nuts. And now hopefully you're seeing what my vision is, and not thinking Joe's lost the plot and thinking this is a really fun spread. So all I've got to do now is go through and add those bits of washi tape to create those little boxes that are overlying. And once I've created that structure, then I can go ahead and start playing with my decoration and really having fun. So with the structure of the Dutch door done, it's time to start decorating, and I really wanted to create that WEIRD Barbie vibe. And her costume is a pink dress, very Barbie, but it's got like paint splashes and stuff all down the side of it, that adds to that WEIRD Barbie vibe. And when I was looking at her outfit, it really reminded me of our Untamed pattern. So what I've done is added a strip of the Just Beach pink palms, which is a printable that you can get for free by clicking on the link in the description and adding your details to sign up or update your details for our newsletter list. But I'm also adding a strip of our Untamed pattern printable that come with our Untamed subscription box a few months back. And I think the clash of those two together really gives those WEIRD Barbie vibes. I've done it on the left hand side of the spread because that's where it is on her dress. So really reminiscent of the costuming from the Barbie movie. And then on the right hand side of the spread, I'm going to add more of that pink palm that we've called Just Beach, just so that behind the Dutch door you get a flash of colour each side, and it really makes the shapes of the Dutch door stand out from the spread. For the lettering for the spread, I really wanted it to be reminiscent of the doodles that are on WEIRD Barbie's face in the movie. So I've chosen our Bookworm font, which is quite a playful, quite a handwritten font. And what I'm doing is tracing through just with a fine liner to do the outline of the shape, and then what I'm going to do is grab a Tombow dual tip pen in black and use the fibre tip end, not the brush end, just to go over that lettering, because I didn't want it to look too stenciled, too neat. So by doing the kind of tracing it first and then going over it, I get the effect of hand lettering without it actually being hand lettering. And then if you look a little bit closer on Barbie's face, you'll see that she has some other doodles that have been put there by her owner, her child, and they are a kind of pink and purple colour. And what I've done is select Papermate Flair pens in those colours, and I'm going to add scribbles or doodles to the page around the lettering, just to give the effect of it having been done by a child. Now, believe it or not, it's a lot more difficult to make something look childlike without it actually looking just a mess and looking like it was done by a child. It does, when I first do it, look a bit of a shambles, but once I've added in all the other elements that I add to the spread, I think it really works. Now, what I also do on this page is add in the date of each day into the box that is the tab of the Dutch door. And then I'm going to go ahead and add one of my favourite quotes to the left hand side of the Dutch door spread. So to add the quote to the page, what I'm doing is writing it out on a dot grid pad, and I'm then going to cut around it and paste it in so it sits on top of the patterned paper strips that I've put on the left hand side of this spread. The quote that I'm adding is "You're either brainwashed or you're weird," which was one of my favourites from the Barbie movie, and I knew that I wanted to add it into my journal. So I'm writing it all out in, again, the Bookworm font, and what I'm going to do is leave all of the words in just fine liner, apart from the word brainwash, which I'm going to go over with my Tombow just so that it's bold and it stands out. I'm then going to add some colourful accents to the quote page so that, again, it fits in with the doodly kind of vibe that I've created so far with this spread. I really like how this quote looks. Once I've cut it out, it's really cute. I'm really liking this technique of going over a font with a thicker pen. I think I'm going to do this again with the finer fonts that we've got, the font stencils for. It enables you to put in writing into your journal really quickly if you're not tracing around the outside of every single letter, but you do still get the style of having used a font stencil, so it's not just your handwriting, it has the particular font style. So I think it works really well. Definitely give it a go if you have our font stencils and you want a different way of using them. So I'm just playing around with where I'll put this quote, adding a bit of glue, and then I'm going to pop it onto the bottom hand side of the Dutch door. And then the top part of that page can be used for lists or doodles or notes, whatever I want to add in really. And I'm using the same two colours as I've used for the scribbles over the days of the week, just to add accents to this quote and pull the whole thing together. So with my quote added, I now just need to go through and add my days of the week to each of the sections on the Dutch door. I'm varying where I'm putting the header depending on the length of the word, and also just to mix it up because I don't want it to look too regulated. I want it to be quite playful. So again, going through, adding the fine liner word, and then going over with my Tombow pen. Once I've done that, I'm going to add one more quote page to the end, and then we're very nearly finished. before I add that final quote, one more thing that I'm going to change is I decided to thicken up the dates of each of the days in these boxes on the side of my Dutch door. I had originally written them in the purple and the pink pen that I've done the scribbles in, and they didn't really stand out very much, so I'm just hand lettering quite a thick font into those boxes just so that it fits in the box, and so that it stands out and looks a bit more like it's been doodled. And I like how it's turned out now. I think it works much better with the layout of the spread. As much as I enjoyed the purple and the pink, it just wasn't standing out enough and competing against all the other patterns and colours that we've got going on in this spread. So the last bit of wording that I wanted to add to the right hand side page of the Dutch door is "be weird," and it's kind of an answer to the quote on the left hand side, and I just wanted to add a little bit of extra wording just because I thought it needed it in order to be balanced. So I've done it in exactly the same way as all the other lettering. I've traced through the stencil using my fine liner and then gone over it using my Tombow. I've added some little marks around the side, and I'm going to colour in the middle of those letters in the pink and the purple, the same as I did the word brainwashed on the left hand side of the page. And I'm just going to cut around this quote and add it to that page in exactly the same way as I had done on the other side. This is going to be my kind of doodles, notes page for the week, so I can add in any extra information that I need to add or keep a note of. This is a very loose spread. It's not got structured areas to put different bits in. I just want to be able to keep note of what's going on this week. And I've enjoyed the freedom of this spread so much. I've gone through and added some extra little star doodles and marks where I thought that it needed it in order to make it more balanced. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed the freedom of creating this spread, and knowing that it's almost the crazier that it looked, the better it was for the theme. So yeah, giving yourself that freedom has been really fun. I went through and added these little dots, and then I ended up turning them into exclamation marks. Yeah, there was no rules, and I really enjoyed it. So let's take a look at the finished spread. I've got this quote page, either you're brainwashed or you're weird. I've got my Dutch door that is reminiscent of WEIRD Barbie's house, with a space for each day of the week. And then on the last page, I've got a space for next week and a reminder to stay weird. I really hope you've enjoyed this setup. Please hit subscribe if you have, and I will catch you all very soon.